Yes, exactly. I was pulling up the match board here so we can look at the rosters one, just in case you wanted to make any more points towards some of the players or talk about some of them. We got Hefty Lobster versus Vibes 999 in our finals for today. Again, Lobster, they've lost to teams that have made the finals every single week leading up to this third qualifier here in July. Let's take a look at the series layout and see if they can finally push past. They've gotten to the finals. First, it was the quarters, then the semis. Now they're in the finals. We're going to Factory for game number 1. Game number 2 for our King of the Hill will be on Favelas, and then, if necessary, we're going to Skyfell Demolition. But Factory, game number 1, something we haven't seen today on broadcast.
You're right.
I mean, Skyfell either, but we're guaranteed a Factory. How you feeling, Fawn, going into this?
Well, not only am I excited to see it, but it's interesting to see Favelas as the King of the Hill map and not the demo one. So, and also seeing Skyfell as well. A map it is that we haven't seen at all throughout this broadcast. Skyfell, North Factory, you mentioned it before. I think it's interesting to see these maps be brought out. I wonder how teams are going to try and play on this one. This is one of those maps where I definitely can see both Dima and Switchblade being huge here, especially Anvil. I feel like Anvil has to be banned on Factory because I feel like he's that post plant on either of those sites is way too scary. So you have to be able to find a way to stop it.
I was going to mention that if we're going to say someone has to be banned on this map, I would have said Glitch, to be honest, because Glitch has always been super strong on Factory since he's been getting a lot more playtime. I mean, I just mentioned in the last set, that team, Console's Finest, they played Glitch on this map spectacularly against Rome and his team, where he played Glitch on the same map. So, padded steps, the ability to use your ability as just kind of like a UAV in your hand, even after you use it the technical EMP way. And also, the enemy doesn't know when they're being revealed by this item. So that could really work out in their favor if they're trying to, if living like Ranthar out there, if he's trying to play a padded steps character that can sneak around some more, that might be the play here on Factory. But that is where we're going for game number 1 here of our finals in our Rogue Company Showdown. This is qualifier number 3 of our $10,000 main event that happens next week. So make sure you tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv/CMG_esports, or you can also tune in at twitch.tv/Rogue Company. The band's coming through, Ronin, Anvil. So, like you said, Anvil needs to be banned. He is, which leaves open Glitch and Switchblade.
Right, yeah. Glitch and Switchblade are both characters that are available and could end up being utilized here. Once again, the Glitch is someone that may not seem like that intel character, but he provides intel. I mean, he brings up that iPhone, he flips it up. Anyone that's around in that radius will be informed on where the enemies are. And I genuinely think that, once again, Glitch is such a great pick here on Factory. You have Switchblade, Anvil is banned, and that's what I was saying. I was like, he has to be a must ban on this site on this map, because he is a menace on this map. That post plant plays so heavily into that, and I think you have to be very, very careful when you're playing into an Anvil. And the best way to not deal with that Anvil is just not let him be in the game at all. So I think that's a great ban from them.
Put a Glitch on your team.
I mean, true, but also that would imply that Glitch has to utilize his gadget a little bit earlier when they're pushing into site and not necessarily post plant, because you might have some characters that are better at post plant than they are pre plant, right? So I mean, you could stall them out for a little bit, but that's only so often. It's not like as if you're stalling out a quick acquire, or you're stalling out like a Marv launcher from Diva, or if you're stalling out Vi, like Wild Poison or anything of the sort. I don't think that Glitch necessarily the character it is that you should do that.
Glitch is just so strong on this map because if you see an Anvil, you can take down the shield during the post plant for the defuse. And then also, Trench is always being played very strongly on this map with the Barb, especially on that half wall and that jump wall that you can see towards the A site. So if you're able to take out some barbed wire or some APSs with that EMP, then some big things could be set up as a playmaker potential for your team. But as we are waiting to get into game here, we want to hear your prediction. Fine.
Okay.
Who you got taking this Lobster versus Vibes
Okay.
999? We've seen both teams today. We saw Lobster twice already, but does that sway? You feeling like some lobster dinner tonight, or is Vibes 999 the one's going to be feasting on lobster?
I'm personally feeling lobster for dinner, and here's why. Right? Here's why. I think Vibes play out of their mind several times, in multiple different games when they went up against, when they went up against Takers. But the thing is that even though they went up against them, they made a comeback. The very first map was heavily in their favor. The second map, less so. And then the third map was a comeback, but even still, those matches were close. The only one that wasn't close was the very first game, and once we got into the set, if you can adapt strongly to Vibes, I feel like that sort of cuts their potential in half, in my opinion. I personally don't think they do well to teams that adapt to them in a positive light. And that's all I've seen Hefty Lobsters do throughout all of today is adapt. And I think that with a draft like this, that sort of puts a pin in that sort of Vibes momentum that we saw earlier when they were fighting Takers on lockdown, right? You have to respect the vibe. You have to respect the trench. And I think that can be very, very detrimental to Vibes trying to make their usual plays and momentum.
All right, let's see what we have here as everything's starting to come into play. We do have the glitch on attack as well as a fixer for only one team, being the attacking team. They have a Vi coming out too to create some corner pressure, maybe for the bomb plant. And then also the Dahlia, keep the fixer or the glitch alive. We'll have Headstrong available for the glitch, I believe, so he can possibly be your bomb carrier. Vi can also suck up some health herself through her pods. Meanwhile, on the defensive side, we've got a Dahlia linking to a trench. Of course, that has to be in there for this map. And then you have a Dallas for some intel and some reveal potential. And, of course, the Vi for her corner pressure on the defensive side. Coming into this, Vibes 999 has the side of attacking first, so they will be in the blue. And then on the red side will be Hefty Lobster, of course, starting off on that defensive end. Already a flashbang coming out, but the APS will swallow that up. Could be a second one out there, considering that's his passive. And look at that. The EMP takes out the barbed wire. You don't want to have to walk through that. It slows and does damage. Turner finds one. Almost finds a second one, but couldn't get out of dodge quick enough. He gets caught in the crossfire from Mikey, who's really stepped up today. He has been playing outside of his mind from what we've seen in the past. And just as I say that, he turns the corner and finds another one. Roco. Just him and Vi left alive. Vi falling super low. He's going to have to back up. But Chapo doesn't care. He makes the chow, and he loses the chow. Now moving up is the Vi. Ends up punching him in the face to finish it off. It's 1-0 from the defensive side.
Yeah, and I think that for the most part, that I would be a little bit more concerned if I were Vibes, because that round was pretty quick, albeit pretty even. I think that things went a little bit south once they got that first pick, and they played their momentum and they played it to their best ability. And because of that, obviously it nets them the round, and Hefty Lobsters are sitting on 1 point already. While Vibes have to find some sort of way to make this sort of a more aggressive play style. They have to sort of try and put a stall to that. And I think it's so hard to play into Hefty Lobster's draft, and that's why I said they have to give them so much respect, because they have Trench and they have Vibe. You have to give them respect when you're trying to push on a site like that, and that can hurt a lot. So we saw that Trench and that Vibe, that Vile Poison and those barbed wires really put in the work that map. I mean, that round.
Look at Roco heading through mid on highway. Don't know if anyone's going to be expecting this from him. Rest of his team is there with him as well. Losi ends up going down. Couldn't return fire quick enough as he dodged back behind the wall. And now Turner waiting on the glitch to see if anything happens. He gets blown up, but he did find it down beforehand with the help of Roco. The bomb's been dropped in a double coming out from Bluff. Excuse me, a single. Two of them were just finishes on knocks already. Roco finds another one with the pistol in his hand, reloads the Deadeye, ready to go to war, but it doesn't matter. Two people staring at him, plus the flames in his face. He ends up falling. 2-0 now.
Hefty Lobsters. Like you said, a 2-0 Blue. They have a pretty commanding lead so far. Doing well, not only in terms of how their post-plant has, not post-plant, I mean, planted the bomb down, really. How their pre-plant has been. Trying to push through, you know what? I was gonna make a joke about how, what both, you know what? I will make that joke. Hey, Blue, do you know what both Vi and Trench's names combined together would sound like?
What is it?
Try, as in try and push through to see if you can get to the side. Because that's literally all that we've been seeing. Is they've been trying to make these pushes through and see if they can make it onto the site, and it's just not there because you have to make that work for you by using this glitch a little bit early. You have to try and push on the site there, but when they aren't giving that to you, because that's why he's walking around with that out, he's looking for more opportunities to see if he can disable either of them, but that's not happening, and they're not giving that to him. And the minute that they see them push on site, they're throwing everything. It's so hard to push through both those characters because they do such a good job at locking down not only chokes, but locking down bomb sites.
Locking down the bomb site on B is what the defense is focusing here. Only one member, it looks like, watching the A site, but now the rotation's coming through from the defense. I think it's only one member. Don't want to pull everyone off of that B site too early because the rotation can come through. Here comes the EMP. Got those 5 poisons off just in time, but they noticed it. Went behind. Pushing through. Bluffus finds Roco with a nade. Another member goes down. This time it's Turner finding one. Livin finds another as well. Revive trying to come through from the Dahlia link, but it's a no-go. Livin and Siphon starting to show up and put the pain on. Livin finishes them off White Van here. Whoo! 3-0 now. It looks good for Vibes, and then all of a sudden everything just falls apart and Lobster kind of just take over.
Yeah, that is a genuine way to sort of... That is a genuine way to sort of like slowly choke the life out of the opposing side, especially if they like to push in and they want to play these little bit more slow, methodical playthroughs or rounds. And because you both have Vi and Trench, which is the reason why I keep mentioning them, is because there's such a pivotal role as to why this is not going their way. And then they have Dallas on top of that, right? So the intel's always there. So they have ways to lock down the site. It makes things a lot harder for them to try and push through. And then you have to worry about getting forced away from your bomb plant because of the vile poisons actually being, the cluster poisons being used more aggressively than they are defensively. Because Vi and Trench were both tossing, when they heard bomb being planted down, like on the very first round on B, they started chucking it out to prevent them from leaving, but also keeping them locked in.
A lot of patience being shown here in round number 4. Barbed wire gets taken out, along with a few APSs in the way. Siphon is able to down Turner. There was no smokes or anything placed. Turner just thought he was going to walk in and put a bomb on the ground successfully. Siphon said, no thank you. They will get revived, however. Bomb gets picked up as well. Now they can try and go for this plant. Sounds like they might be. Or actually, they haven't. They just backed up. Trip mines come through. Has 3 of them already. Puts up 2. Don't know what happened to that first one he placed. Now the bomb. Getting a little bit of a fake, seeing if he can pull one person out.
Right now.
Bomb finally being planted. Siphon finds another down. That one gets finished off. Turning the corner. Siphon on the trench this game. Putting in some heavy-duty work. Finds the last member. His team's there to help him out. Bluffus and Siphon.
What a prominent retake.
Putting the bullets where they need to go. They get the defuse bomb. 4-0, man.
They're just, when they do manage to get the bomb down, their retakes are just so proficient. I just don't. So they're using the glitch as not only like sort of like a scout, but they're making sure that they use it to try and obviously stop whatever push it is that they have, right? Which is something it was that you were saying earlier about trying to provide that opportunity for them to like if they run the anvil, run the glitch, right? To try and counter that. As we've been seeing, the only problem is that once he finds that scout, once he utilizes that, it's a big issue because it's not going to last forever, and since it doesn't, once that's up, okay, cool, he used his ability. Now we just wait until that expires. Sure, he might know where we are, but that doesn't make it any easier for them to push us on, like push this off of the site. It actually makes it a lot less likely that they do so, because now that is something that they're probably going to be using a lot of their utility, like they do the minute that they see them push in, they use it before he even gets a chance to even pop his ability, right? So that intel's not paying much mind to the rest of the abilities that Hefty Lobster have, because it's just forcing them out. That's why it's 4-0 right now. They're having a hard time trying to push onto the site.
What in the world was that Fixer doing? It's either Fixer's fault for just going in there like a madman once the smokes came down, or Vi, she backed up, didn't help any. I think it was mainly because she tried to throw her tear gas in Cubby, and it ended up backfiring and placing a little too close to her on the corner, so she wouldn't be able to peek it as effectively. Now rotating. Bomb no longer in their possession, and it is just Vi at this point. Trying to find some downs to get some money in the bank. Does find one, finishes him off as well, so can't be revived. And he'll also get the money for killing her. So we got some emotes coming through there from the defenders, waiting to see if they can gather some intel. And I would not want to walk through that door.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
He's trying to bait someone through here.
Yeah, they're not even interested. There's not really a situation where that could work.
Wait a second, finds another down.
They push. There's 5 seconds left. You guys can literally just wait, stab the place. Okay, never mind. All right, they push in. There we go. They push in, they get the kill, they get what they need, and that's another round for. That's just how it be. I mean, Hefty Lobsters are already leading with the 5-0. They can't make it onto site quick enough because of the utility it is that they have on defense. Like, that's literally just what it comes down to. The utility is too much for them to push through, because they don't really have anybody that clears out those angles or challenges that. Honestly, the draft that Vibes has is more what I would see from a defensive standpoint, not an offensive one, because it's not granting them much, you know? Maybe if they had like a chalk, maybe if they had like a lancer for maybe like more rotations or whatever the case may be, they could open up more avenues for them to push through, because they'd have to worry about less than whatever one way sort of like one-dimensional push it is they have to have on factory, right? Because you have an aspect of mid, but that mid is even cut off by like rotational points, right? So pushing onto site is pretty linear. That's why he's already down. It's hard to make it through. He has the intel, that's great. They get bluff, but now they have to like look. Okay, so this is going to be perfect opportunity. So they get rid of the trip, that's great. They throw out their utility, but look at what's happening. Like, Glitch stopped them on the 2 people that were already down. Sure, he forces them out to rotate back, but meanwhile, the rest of the team is behind his team, killing everyone else. Glitch got rid of the barbed wire. That's great, but it's hard to push through this. It just doesn't work, you know. Like, it's just crazy about how consistently this has been, how consistently this match has been moving. Yeah, you're right. It's 6-0. One more point, and we're already at halftime with no points on the board for Vibes.
6-0 going into the final round of this first half, and Siphon putting people in his backpack in the time being. 12 downs, I think it was, plus a bunch of assists. With the elims combined in there, he's looking to go for the triple-double.
Let's lock this down.
In the demo. Gets the barbed wire out. I love how he holds the second one. Only puts down one APS at a time, knowing that the EMP could come through. The hack, that is. Fixer playing kind of far back as well. Couple shots being teased there by Roco. Loftus is right on the other side of this. Now he's seen him, but he gets hit by a grenade.
It's the draft.
He just found another one with his gun. And he found a third one with the katana.
It's just the draft.
Goodness, Loftus.
It's just the draft. It's literally just the draft.
7-0.
Mission failed. They've disarmed the bomb.
It's literally just the draft, man. That's literally all it is. Like, genuinely.
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
I mean,
that has
to be honest with
large factor in it, but just the draft, I don't know.
They're running the same thing on attack. Interesting. On the side of Hefty Lobsters. They're running the same thing on attack. But this time they're swapping the switchblade on the defense. But they have to, I was like, they have to have a vibe, though. You have to have something that's going to stall their push. They're
bringing a trench out on what they have, a Kestrel on defense, so they swapped the Kestrel for a glitch on attack, but they still have the trench out there. No trench on the defensive side for Vibes. All right, no trophies at all.
That's crazy, man.
Maybe they're just saying, you know what? We can give this game up. We can come back and win games 2 and 3 here.
Vi and Trench is literally such a strong combo with a Dahlia on it as well, because of the fact that you have two people that have access to triple gadgets, right? So I don't know how I feel about this. Glitch is one of those characters that gets enabled by the team around him. He has to have characters that do well in terms of pushing, as opposed to just sort of sitting there and stalling out. They have a switchblade now, which I guess that means it makes it a little bit easier, but I don't. They throw it out over there. Oh, they forced him out already. Really? Oh, they just completely took this site, and everyone's hacked. There's 3 of them that are hacked in that. Turner manages to get one. Symph goes down, but even still, they have the bomb already planted. It's looking pretty good for them, Roco. They have a 1-for-1 trade so far. Ensign gets tossed out. Now they have to just play post-plant. Turns around the corner trying to swing on his teammate. Manages to clutch it out and catches him. Trying to roll back around the corner. They're looking for more opportunities. Peeking right on over the edge. Chapo sees what he can do. Same thing for Lossie. As it's now 2v2. They have to play around the bomb. They're both trying to push the same person. And that's a smart play, but they still go down. Chapo trades 1-for-1. And now it's all up to the Dahlia versus the Vi. No gadgets on Vi's side. Dahlia manages to pick one up. This is a 2v1, but she now manages to knock him down immediately off of the pickup. They have to push. They don't really have much of an opportunity. They can't defuse here, and he manages to win. Vibe with an 8-0 for Hefty Lobsters. They clean this one up. Dust your hands off. We're moving to a second game. My goodness, the first 8-0 of the day. Yeah, that draft is crazy, man. Like that I'm dead serious. I really feel like the first half of that, the first half of that game was literally just literally just a draft, man. I'm so serious about that. They're not running any trophy systems. They don't have anything to sort of run with the triple. They don't have anything to run with the triple gadgets on defense. They try and go for the switchblade. I don't know, man. You just move on to the next map. Like, I genuinely don't think, like, I don't think the draft for that first half was it, man. I just don't.
All right, well, before we move on to the next match in such a hurry there, Fawn, we got to take a look at these replays. A little reminiscing over this 8-0. Let's see exactly those top flight plays coming through for that winning team in Hefty Lobster here. 8-0. They were on a mission They're able to get it done in large part due to that trench. Siphon putting in a lot of work. Gives him a little dab there. Fun. I mean, what do they need to change? We're going to a respawn now.
I actually don't think there was genuinely a problem with how Vibes played it. I just genuinely think that it was a difference in characters at that point in time. I know I've said that so many times, but I'm so serious when I say that. Like, I genuinely think that the draft for the very first half of that map really sort of did not. It didn't give them any leeway. It didn't make it any easier for them to push on the site. I actually liked how Vibes played it. They played it carefully and they approached it well. But Switchblade was open for most of that time, you know? Like, Glitch is one of those characters, in my opinion, that does well when he has a team that surrounds him that can enable him. Anybody that forces him out, whether it's like Dima, whether it's like Switchblade, whether it's like Scorch, definitely plays a huge role into that. But they weren't really any characters that were on that side, and I genuinely just don't. I just don't know, man. Like I said, I love how Vibes played that, but I don't think that it was a bad play style. I just think it was genuinely just a bad draft, man.
All right, so Fawn throws it up to bad draft. So let's talk about what the drafts are going to look like here on Favelas. Kind of like a long-range map. At some times, there are some angles that can get pretty long range, but a lot of close-quarter combat, especially on that C objective, hill number 3, which is inside the small little workshop, small little garage. Yeah. Ronin, Vi will be the bands coming into game number 2, so we won't see any of them being able to be picked, but we could see Dima, we could see Switchblade, could see Chalk, Anvil, Fixer, all of those, and Lancer as well are available. What are you expecting to see?
This is Favelas more so. I mean, like, you mentioned the Lancer beforehand, and I think like Lancer is such a great pick on this map. I imagine we can see the Lancer. I'm going to keep bringing up Switchblade because of how often we saw her banned, and now we're seeing her not at all. I kind of want to talk about the Ronin ban, by the way. Because I feel like that Ronin ban is like, that feels, out of all the bans we've seen today, that feels specific, you know? Like, that feels like one of those bans where it's like, they either could feel like either a player on Vibes are concerned about having Ronin, or it's just the buffs overall. It's one of the two. Regardless, the buffs play a huge role into that, whether it's due to a player, whether it's due to the character. Not being able to see her at all now is definitely very scary. And on a map like Favelas, I think that ballistic knife goes a long way. There's a lot of angles and a lot of areas you can clear very simply, especially on a respawn map. You got to worry about that a lot. And
of course, we saw Siphon today.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
going crazy with the ballistic knife, just being able to put it in spots where he could succeed and get multiple downs from it. So, of course, I can understand why that is why it is most likely being banned out against him here. But we're going to be jumping into game number 2 now. Man, Hefty Lobster leading 1-0 after that dominating 8-0 win for themselves in game number 1 on the Demolition. We're going to Favelas in the finals here for qualifier number 3 of our $10,000 Road Company Showdown. Remember, $1,000 up for grabs for the top 8 teams today. These 2 teams fighting to see who gets the largest chunk, to see who finishes in first place for today, and also gathers 10 points, 8 points for the second place team. Of course, if you're in the top 16, you make it to that main event today. That 2-day main event for a chance at the $10,000 prize, or grand prizes, of course, gets split out. We're paying the top 6 teams next week, so make sure you tune in promptly at 3 p.m. Locking in all 4 of their rogues already is the side of Vibes 999. Fixer, Kestrel, Switchblade, and Lancer, of course. And then looking at the other side, we see Scorch, Lancer, Anvil, and Dima. Lancer, the only consistent one on both sides. How you liking these, Fawn?
So Dima, Lancer, Scorch, Anvil, and then you have Kestrel, Switchblade, Lancer, Fixer. Yeah, obviously the common denominator here is the Lancer. I mentioned the fact that I think that Lancer's a great character on this map, and so do the other 2 teams. I enjoy seeing Lancer on this map. I feel like her rotational capability is so much larger when you put her not only in the right hands, but when you put her in the right spot. The Veils is one of those maps. Switchblade and Kestrel. Obviously, two different characters that sort of force people to move out of the angles it is that they're holding. And when you're dealing with King of the Hill, I definitely think that that is a extremely smart move, especially when you have things in when you're starting things off in big garage. Get the flash off early into the rocket immediately. They spread things out. Oh my goodness! See, I mentioned the Switchblade. I mentioned the Kestrel. I said they force things that you probably don't want to happen. They forced people to move out of those angles, and since they were flash, they were kind of just screwed. I mean, what do I say?
We are in our fourth matchup today on broadcast, and I am already very unimpressed when the rocket launcher gets 1 or 2 kills at the beginning of a King of the Hill. I'm gonna be honest. It's awesome at first, and then all of a sudden it's just like, well, that's to be expected.
Right.
Don't run in there.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the same thing that I was talking about on Glacier. You talk about that first mid, that first point. Just don't walk in there at first. At least you have time. Trust me, you have time. Like, I think it's completely okay to sort of take a breather and take a break more than anything. If that's the composition is you're going up against. They're getting plenty of kills here. Lots of frags on the side of Hefty Lobster, but they haven't really been able to quite control the hill. This is the first hill they've had like full control over, because look at the point differential.
Some beautiful sneak plays coming in from Living on this Lancer so far. And, you know, if Hefty Lobster end up winning this, man, what a course they have taken in July thus far. Remember, qualifier number 1 2 weeks ago, they ended up losing in the quarterfinals, right? So they only made it as far as the quarterfinals. The next week they come back, they make it to the semifinals, they end up losing there. And now this week they're in the finals. Win or lose, they have advanced 1 round further each week going in. The first 2 weeks, the teams they lost to ended up making it to the finals. This time they are the ones in that top 2 position, looking to finish it off. They're leading 1-0 so far after the first demo. And of course, they're trying to close it out here in game number 2, but they've got a ways to go. They do have control of hill number 3 to start it off. About a minute and 5 seconds left. They have taken 10 off of it already. 48 and counting for them. Meanwhile, their opponent still sitting pretty with 85 in the lead, but Turner finds a double kill. Roco picks up one himself before Turner falls ultimately, and things are not looking good for Hefty Lobster very early on in this King of the Hill.
Yeah, that anvil barricade is putting in work. There is literally only a few places that they can go to make it onto site. They're able to clear them off. They got 30 seconds left, so the last few remaining points could be pretty huge for them, at least in tying things up. The next point is going to be the last one for this round, so I would say get as close as possible to trying to even up that differential as much as you can. Do whatever it is you can for the next point. And the fact that you already got those kills and Scorch is about to find another one is already pretty huge. They're already on the next site, but there's only 2 of them there. They rotate around just in time and they make it. I'm sure it's policy in the form of Lance.
Oh man, Livin having to live with his head on a swivel. Didn't work out there. Chapo finds him. First time we're seeing him on Lancer, I believe. Maybe the second. Siphon, however, on the Scorch once again. Living with the quick and quiet. Lasts a little bit longer now. He's coming around, and look at this. I don't think they're going to notice. Well, he gets one before he ultimately gets traded out. In my book, that's perfectly fine. Just get the trade. If you can get it, then it's the 3v3. A little bit easier for you to retake against 3 people than it is 4 people. Bluffus finds Roco. Mikey found Losi. The kills are coming through. Hefty trying to make a move now. Chapo had to back up. Roco's coming back as well, trying to get some shots out there, and finds Mikey. Only had to put 2 or 3 into him from the Deadeye. Remember, Fon, That guy's got replenished now. Okay, imagine that.
Right.
You know, in the update show, they were like, yes, he has replenished. Just imagine how good that would be when you snipe someone and instantly get your 1 bullet back. Yeah. Deadeye,
Reminded me
baby.
of some-
Put replenish on the DMR. It's exactly what we needed there.
Check some Canessa gameplay. Running true grit and getting your ammo back immediately as soon as you fire a fully charged shot through the sniper scope. They managed to get one down, and they're still trying to hold on, but that was the last man on the site. His team just made it there too. That's so unfortunate. They weren't on the site. They were trying to cover for him so he didn't die. They didn't make it on the site yet. They were literally right there, and they weren't able to take it over to keep that sudden death going. So unfortunate.
Well, the first round goes in favor of Vibes999. Now they're only 1 round away from pushing this to a game number 3. Can they close it out here on the side of Lobster? Can they send us to bed knowing that they are the winners for today? Or are we going to have to go to a game 3 here to decide today's champion?
Oh.
Big shots coming in.
Wow.
Mikey did find one with the Dima launcher. That Merv coming in handy. Semtex kill. An SMG kill. All coming through to start things off here in round number 2. 9 points and counting now for Lobster as they take control of the objective. Still taking control. They left the member that was gathering points was the one that was down. Lanta was playing off of the cars towards the left there, not on the objective.
Oh, down. Yep. Oh, he rolls right on in, but they're able to at least get a little bit more points, a little bit more bang for the buck on the side of Hefty Lobsters. Because they roll in, gets the down, and his body's just going to be there to sort of contest for now. 20-8. They're already, I believe, in control of the next point here as they push out Chapo. Ensign goes out, flashbang. My goodness, yeah. I don't think I would have chased that deep. But they at least still have control over the objective, at least for a few more moments.
They did a great job of holding that down for as long as possible. That first objective, they grabbed 29 from it, but now they've got to be able to break back into these objectives just a little bit more quickly if they can't hold it down at the start of their timers. They want to get back into this. Hefty Lobster, a team we haven't seen lose a King of the Hill today so far. We've seen them play twice. Shooting drones at nothing. Getting a little spooked for no reason now. Just throwing drones away, it seems. And now the shots coming through. The hill number 3 is where it's going to be next inside this small shop. They're setting up, ready to go. You can see the outline of the objective already there, but a little lock icon. 5 seconds left of garbage time, and they're starting to pick it up on Silo for Hill 2. 74-19 coming into Hill 3, and it's already being controlled by Vibes999. I don't know why Merv Launcher's coming out on the side of the map like that, even when you still did not get the kill from it. Chapo staying alive as long as possible, trying to take control of this side of the map. He does so for the time being. He's still alive. Finally falls to Bluffus.
Oh, C4. Good placement.
Bluffus finds one with a C4 as well. Fun. But Chapo just disrupted so much on that pickup truck.
But you know what he didn't disrupt? Blue, the score. it's 98-24. Like, he got good kills. That's great. I'm glad that he was able to keep that pressure on, but they were sitting on the objective for majority of that time. Like, it's 24-106. So they can take this objective for what it's worth at this point. They don't even know that Mikey's over there. They toss out a grenade early. He's gonna let him run right on past.
They're just gonna let him run by.
Yeah, he's gonna let him run by so he can get the kills. That's a smart play. I love it. The gun discipline, the trigger discipline is important. People don't talk about that in tactical shooters often, but that's one of the most important things to do.
In any shooter.
Sometimes you don't always have to pull the trigger.
In any shooter, the patience is always a good thing to have. That's exactly what that Dima had there. Dima's not known for sneaking up on people, but hey, he's got Stalker and he can just do that now. Hide out, camp it out, wait for him. It's okay. Don't be ashamed. He has to shoot this shield. Is that his own shield he has to shoot? He's just going to run around. Turner gets a double kill here. 107 to 62, but it's climbing for that 62. We're at 65 now. Siphon finds a double. Bluffus helps him out with the third member. Now they regain control. Just under 30 seconds remaining. And Lobster have retaken control of the objective. Remember, they are in the lead this round, but they need this round to stay alive and force an overtime here. 125 now. They're inching closer and closer. Finds another one with the Merv launcher. Bluffus, Livin, they each get one. Turner did find one. It was Livin. He got finished off as well. Time is out. And that will be the round. We're going to overtime in King of the Hill now. If Hefty Lobster win, it's game over. It's the end of today's broadcast. But if the win is grabbed by Vibes999, we're going to game 3. Fawn, what's it going to be? Call it.
Well, if Hefty Lobsters have that same performance that they had last map, or last round, I should say, as well as last map, honestly, the 8-0 energy, yeah, I'm going to be real with you. Hefty Lobsters, if you guys can pull that out, like right here, y'all are vibing. Y'all are chilling. I don't think there's anything it is that you guys could do better than that. Breaking out an 8-0 is about as good as you probably could ask for. Oh, come on. They move in again? How many times got to teach you this lesson, old man? I don't understand. Why you guys keep running through
He
main?
just did
That's
that so quickly. He did that so quickly that when he turned his camera, it looked as if he was shooting at himself.
Yeah.
I think he might have clipped it on the wall, to be honest.
Probably.
Bluffus finds Chapo. The shield comes out, and already the shield gets damaged heavily. There's so much coming at them. 18 and climbing for Hefty Lobster. They do not want to go to game 3, it seems. They are taking full control. 13 seconds remaining on this objective number 1, or the first hill. Look at him. He is so patient, watching them cross down to water. Nice EMP comes through, cooking the nade now. Turner's going to fall right on top of it, of course, and he goes down to a nade from a different person. Through the smokes and everything else, Dima reigns supreme. Mikey helps finish off Losi. Oh my goodness, that rocket flew right by his face. Pretty much went right past his ear. Blew his eardrum out, but didn't blow him up. He is thanking the Lord right now, if you were Dima. He survives. Losi finds another one, but Proco's taken out and finished off as well. 60 to 16 now. And they have control of the objective once more. Couple neutralized seconds coming through. Jumping over, but couldn't finish off the kill. He had almost no health. Pretty sure life drain's already been bought for that Switchblade. Of course, she's got a good perk. Top 3 perks, really good in this situation. I mean, tenacity, life drain, and replenish all could come in handy here. Even bounce back. Nice shots coming out from Mikey once again on the Dima. He robbed the bank. Now he's trying to rob this series here. 75 and counting. Every time I look at the scoreboard, Fawn, they are gaining more and more points.
Yeah, and it seems like it's harder and harder for them to try to even break through this because of this barricade. The good rocket, but wait, it missed? And he got a double C4 outside of the window. They're trying to push them back, and they clear out so many people. That rocket whiffed. He jumped over the barricade. I think it hit outside behind them. That's crazy. That definitely, yeah, you're right. They definitely have blown out eardrums from that one. That's for sure. Because that was wild. I thought that was such a well-placed rocket, but I guess not. Oh, he rolled into it. Rest in peace. He rolled into the grenade. He got worried. Hey, it'd be like that.
Yeah, and now here they are getting ready for this last hill, and they lead by almost 50 points. But Roco and Turner, they're finding some downs, and just as I say that, they get traded out. 108 and climbing. They're trying to run away with this. They can win here. Don't even need full time to do so. Only 30 seconds left for them to win. And never mind, because it is now 20 seconds. They are closing in fast. Remember, if they win this round, they win the game, they win the series. Can Vibes999 stop it? Okay, Bluffus is celebrating. A little premature celebration there. We know what happens usually when that happens.
Let's cut our losses and get out of here.
Okay.
And that's it.
that's the whole
Not
thing.
even a chance. Couldn't get back on that objective. The dance is coming through for the
Congratulations, Joe.
celebrations.
Congratulations.
Hefty Lobster come back. They were down 1-0. Doesn't sound like a lot in King of the Hill, but you only need 2 rounds to win. So they reverse swept in that, which they also did in the entire match of our first matchup that they played in on broadcast today. But Hefty Lobster are your Qualifier 3 champions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replays from both games, the entire series so far. Fawn, walk us through game 2. What happened there?
So, I've said this enough, but Factory was just a draftive. So I'm not going to even really harp on that. I've said that enough. I typically want to take a more of an in-depth look to Favelas. So the first round on Favelas, we saw Vibes take the lead for a large majority of that very, very first round because of the fact that I think that Hefty Lobster weren't accustomed to playing on that map yet. When they were accustomed, after the first round, those matches started going by quickly, and those point leads started growing, all because of the fact that you have a situation where you need to deal with the Anvil barricade. You have any situation where Anvil can set up his barricade. We saw how much of a problem that was, especially when they were playing in Car Shop. And that is such a huge, huge difference and a telltale sign, a telltale sign of how strong Anvil can be. I mentioned about the fact about how on Factory he definitely needs to be banned, but this goes to show why consistently the LMG, as well as the fact of him having that barricade, as to why so consistently he is banned out. It is hard to play through that. Definitely want to make a highlight, and I'm glad we got this on replay, of the trigger discipline necessary, because you catch them off guard. And what that does is that it makes Turner more afraid, and he has to go around a different way, and everyone can funnel through there. That rocket barely whiffing as well. I mean, once they knew how they needed to play, how they need to play their draft, they played it well. And I think that just came from them being able to recognize what they needed to do. As the set went on from that first round, they were like, all right, we got it. We understand. Download complete. We move on. And they clutched out the next 2 rounds to take the qualifiers, the third qualifier.
Yep. Congratulations once again to Hefty Lobster.